The Dayton Poetry Slam has never seen my natural hair color. Even when I started coming here, I was blonde, but I'm not blonde. Okay. So this first poem, I was struggling hard to decide whether or not I was going to read it. The bulk of it I wrote in 2022, and every year I was like, I'm going to read it, and then I didn't. But today I've been encouraged by my loved ones to go ahead and read it. I rewrote the beginning of it, so it's partially new shit, I suppose. Okay. Just a warning, it's about the August 4th shooting. So if this is something that will be upsetting, I encourage you to step away. Okay. I've stopped receiving the annual cautionary text messages. Don't forget to not look at your Facebook memories today. 5 years. It's enough time to forget, unless you can't forget. Unless you still feel a jolt of fear in your spine when children throw poppets on a busy sidewalk, or when a man speaks loudly and angrily in any public space, or sometimes sparked by nothing at all. How am I supposed to write about it? Sometimes I convince myself that I can't. I struggle to access my memories and emotions and translate them into something palatable for poetry. And maybe I'm not supposed to. There is nothing palatable or non-offensive about the senseless violence that I witnessed. When I think of the morning of August 4, I think of the man standing next to me on the balcony of Tumbleweed, looking out at the panic-swept streets, the dark forms laying there and bawling with his entire body. I think of the teacher who was trying her best to comfort total strangers just for a moment, trying to bring the slightest smile to their lips. I think of my friends and I taking turns breaking down and holding each other. I think of the text that I sent in the middle of the shooting, August 4, 2019 at 1:07 a.m. Brody, I love you so much. I love you. In my panic, I spelled his name wrong. And there was a millisecond in which I thought, of course, my last text to him would have a typo. I think of my picture, of the picture my friends and I had taken hours before, smiling goofily, buzzing with anticipation for the evening, dressed to the nines. The dress I wore still hangs in my closet as if there is a chance I will don it again one day, as if I could feel the gauzy layers brush my legs without also feeling the fear sweat trickle down my back. I wanted to find something uplifting to end on, a takeaway that makes everything okay for the person reading this, for the people hearing this. But in reality, I am not okay. We are not okay. What I experienced has become a common occurrence. And so much of this country wants you to believe that guns are not a cause for concern, but the needless death of the innocent masses is the biggest cause for concern I could imagine. And if the naysayers had been on that balcony with me that night, leaning over the railing to glimpse the fireworks, only to see our fellow humans running and hitting the ground, maybe then they would take us seriously when we say, do something. Thank you. So my next poem, I was going to do the first poem that I ever wrote to share at the Poetry Slam, but I really loved your poem about the Midwest. So I'm going to do my own kind of homage to my Midwest upbringing. I read this one a lot. It's called Sleepover Poem. It's one of my favorites, so I'm happy to read it. Sometimes I have a longing deep in my heart for a late 2000s Friday afternoon. Sleepover permission granted, anticipation crazed bus ride home, making a bucket list for the next 24 hours. A walk to Suzy Q's for a scary movie rental and some 2 liters of soda, 4-wheeler rides through the pastures, or stone skipping in the creek, or Guitar Hero until our fingers hurt and our vision is stuck drifting upward, even when we turn away from the TV. A pizza ordered from the gas station, or several orders of fries and cheese curds from Ma and Pa's Cafe, sunsets, lights out, scary movie with the big sliding door next to the TV, looking out over the vast, shadowy pasture and tree line beyond. paranoia and tricks of vision convincing us that there are creatures lurking in those shadows. We hold hands, content in the safety of our teenage camaraderie, certain that we will always be this close, bearing our souls as proof of our allegiance, crushes on big brothers, crushes on each other, feeling hopelessly romantic and endlessly optimistic about the future that we are so sure is going to be better than our parents, better than being stuck in the same small town where everyone knows you by name, knows your parents, your grandparents, can remember the time your uncle wrecked his Jeep into the bar, can recall seeing your parents scream at each other on the front porch, where adult women hold grudges against you for your mother's high school transgressions, and adult men leer at you as your features mature over the years. But it will no longer matter, because soon you will be out there living your dreams. Forget plans, forget grades, forget ACT prep and college applications. In 10 years, the world will be yours. It's as simple as that. Oh, to walk with such starry eyes again. To have a fundamental lack of understanding of the world and how it works, to believe that all I need is a good work ethic and to want it hard enough. Thank you.